Yo, what is up? We are back in Berlin, and this is a training room, and I thought I'd show you around the map, starting with the 90 line. Now if you look at the map, we are on the eastern side of the map, where this is the random battle style. Remember in the in yesterday's video we had the encounter style where the cap circle was right in the middle of the map. So this is the regular battles that we're gonna have. It's really beautiful. If you look around you, you can see the ruins of 1944, 1945 Berlin. Is absolutely amazing. Now from the spawn, in order to get into the action, we need to cross 4 bridges. You can see I'm on the bridge, the first bridge here. There's another one right here where the EBR-90 is crossing. There's another bridge right there, and another bridge next to the cap circle of the western side spawn. So let's cross the bridge and continue down the 90 line. We are driving past our cap circle, which is behind the Reichstag. We will go around to that later in the video, but basically that was the burned out parliament, I guess you could say, where all the famous videos of Hitler were from, making all his speeches, party speeches, the Nazi party speeches. But anyway, here we are. We're gonna try and stick as close to the red line as possible to check out what goes on behind here. As you can see, it is a dead end. That's the end of it. There's a lot of details in this map. You can see statues, fountains. Now, one thing that's not very realistic is the amount of trees and foliage that you have on this map. In actual fact, in Berlin 1945 or 1944, towards the end of the war, this is the whatever gate, Bundaberg gate, if I'm pronouncing it right. This is the modern tourist area of Berlin right now, but of course back in 1944s, 30s and 40s, this was all apartment complex buildings and shit like that. I think there's a Starbucks right there. But anyway, let's continue to run. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, one thing that wasn't realistic about this map with the amount of foliage in 1940s, 30s, 40s, you know, there was famine going around. There was it was a really hard time for German people in the city of Berlin. There was no firewood, and so all these trees, there were no trees. Anything that could be cut down and burned for firewood, could be used for firewood, was used for firewood. So all these trees and shit like that, all this green stuff, it did not exist in 1944 Berlin. Everything was burned out. Everything was brown. It was terrible. Anyway, we are now on the K line of the map, and I think the Soviet monument is here right now. The Soviet soldier or whatever monument you call it. In modern Berlin, of course, this entire complex, the center of the map, is a completely flat land, because they decided to preserve this area for historical purposes, I guess. But on this side of the map, you can see there is a little bit of terrain and undulations. You can shoot towards the center of the map. Now in the encounter mode, the center of the map is where the cap circle is, and from here you can absolutely reset. You can also reset the enemy teams, I suppose. I don't think you can reset the cap circle. Sorry, that's because the parliament, the cap circle is right behind the parliament, so it's impossible for you to reset your own base from here. It's impossible to reset on the other side as well, because this building is in front of the cap circle. I think it is an arena right now in modern Berlin. This building is no longer there, but there is, I think it's the O2 arena or some kind of arena. I can't really remember now, can't really recall. But anyway, this area, the southern side of the map, the Juliet Kilo line of the map, it looks like kind of like a medium tank, light tank area. Good place for EBRs, light tanks, zigzag around, avoid fire. There is a little bit of cover here, some terrain, and some, you know, some places for you to hide behind and advance forward. There's a little bit of burning ground here. I like this look very much. It's very immersive. It's very beautiful map. I must say this is I think one of the most, if not the most beautiful maps that I have seen Wargaming come up with. I am very impressed with this map design. I like it very much. The way it looks, I mean, how it's going to actually play, I have no idea. I don't know why they didn't make this thing breakable. Maybe you can, they want it to be like super tough so you can hide behind it. But let's drive around the edges of the map and go full circle before we explore the center of the map. There is some tunnels here, you know. What do you call this again? Oh my god, my England is failed. What do you call this shit? Holes again. Anyway, there are some holes. And that's the cap circle, that's the building. This is the first bridge for the western team, and now we are going towards the northern side of the map. This is another interesting side of the map. You can hide behind, there's a lot of places here. You can hide in here. Your artillery could hide in here, could be a safe place for them. This looks like a pit coal, a mining pit. Well, I mean, not a mining pit, but where they store the coal. You can get in and out of it, no problem. It looks like a good place for you to defend your cap circle. You know, you could hide here throughout the game and then reset the cap from here. But anyway, let's move on to the northern side of the map. There is a lot of terrain here, undulations. You can hull down, you can hide, you can avoid. I'm really curious as to how this map is going to play. There is so much to explore on this map. There's so many things going on in every corner of the map. You can see there's even some elevation here. You can get behind on A1 Bravo, Alpha 1, Bravo 1. You can get yourself elevated and snipe from a distance. Your artillery could be here, your TDs could be here. It is just absolutely crazy. This map has so many things going on. There is like countless possibilities for you to hide, for you to go to. I mean, it's gonna take a long time for people to figure out the meta for this map, how to play it in a medium tank, how to play it in a mobile TD, how to play it in a fixed turret TD. There is just so many things going on in this map. I love it. This is the Grand Central Station, the Grand Central Station in modern Berlin. It is still here. Of course, it looks a little bit different. It no longer works the same. There is some elevated train tracks right at the back here, but oh my god, look at this building. It is absolutely majestic and beautiful. It's a shame that so much of it was destroyed throughout the war, throughout the end of the war. Berlin, of course, we saw a siege in Berlin during the end of the war. Of course, it was also Hitler's last stand. A beautiful modern city, even in the... Can you imagine over 100 years ago, this city was already a very modern city and a very beautiful one at that. Now we are crossing, looks like a bridge for trains and maybe even for cars. Looks like the carriages, or this is like the MRT or the LRT or the trams, the bridge for the trams. Anyway, you need to cross here to get to the enemy's respawn from the west to the east side or the east to the west side. I don't know what significance these Nazi buildings, well, these used to be swastikas, they're not swastikas anymore. These flags, I mean, in old Berlin, 1930s, 40s Berlin, that would have been a swastika. I think this is Wargaming just trying to be politically correct. I don't know is there any significance this side of the buildings, or are these just ruins or placeholder ruins? I'm not too sure. But we are almost back to the start where we were. This was the initial bridge that we were on, if I'm not mistaken. Can we use that bridge to get to the other side? I believe we can. We just need to drive over here. Let's have a look at the center of the map and where the heavy tanks will most likely brawl. Now in my last video, I posted my first game yesterday. It took me 41 games to get into a match in the Berlin on the Berlin map. I don't know why Wargaming made the map notation so bad, but anyway, we explored this part of the map. The heavy tanks are going to be spawned right over here, and then they're going to drive across the bridge, and immediately they are going to encounter these ruins. Of course, in modern day Berlin, this is just all open land. All these apartment buildings, ruins are all gone now. This is like a memorial kind of place next to the river. It's just a place for people to you know, enjoy the tranquility and peace of the city. Of course, this place has significant historical you know, a story behind it. It is very significant in terms of historical value. This place is very sacred, should be respected. I like that they've made this place like a monument of the what happened here in the past. Now you can see this place is basically a lot of corridors and a lot of hull down positions. You need armor to play around here. You need 10 degrees gun depression to excel here. You can play with almost any tank, but you will certainly not survive if you don't have armor and if you don't have gun depression. If you have gun depression, you can definitely do quite well here. If you have a little bit of mobility, that would be great. I think chieftains, any kind of hull down tanks that have 10 degrees, 8 degrees gun depression is going to do pretty well in that in those ruins in the middle of the map. But now let's go check the center or middle of the map where the encounter cap circle is. We'll go check it out and see what's in the middle here. In the middle is this huge bunker that no longer exists today, but this looks like a great place for heavy tanks to just camp out. Although you can still get shot through those open windows. People, if you're camping out this side, people will shoot you. People will shoot you from that side. You know, it's kind of difficult. But imagine you being a light tank or a medium tank, having to forced to dig out, let's say, a mouse or a VKK or a Super Conqueror or a Badger. You know what I mean? It's just going to be absolutely crazy to get in here to fight any kind of heavy tank. Let's have a look. Let's see if we can spot these guys. We can't even well, he's an ELC even, so it's difficult for me to even try to look over and shoot him. He is a very small tank. But this, of course, this bunker or this place does not exist in modern Berlin. Oh, this guy wants to play with me, huh? I don't want to finish him off because I still want to drive around and check out the map. But anyway, that is the Reichstag, the parliament that was burned down and completely destroyed. I think they've restored it now to almost 100% modern day Berlin just for historical purposes. That is the O2 arena. They hold concerts there nowadays. There's not much going on here except a couple of hull down undulations, some places where you can hide and protect yourself. Looks like the timer is running down, got about 50 seconds left on the clock. Of course, this is a training room. I'm in the training room with a bunch of random guys. This is the cap circle of the other side. You don't spawn near the cap circle, you spawn across the bridge over there, but this is the cap circle. Wow, this building, I love this map. This map is beautiful. I can't wait to actually play this map in the random battles. This is going to be really beautiful to explore. It's going to take a lot of time for us to get used to this map because there's just so many nooks and crannies, so many places for you to to drive around, to explore, I'm trying to avoid this ELC because he's trying to kill me off and get into the garage again, but I want to try and survive for as long as I can just to play around with him. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this review of this map, a little bit of a drive around, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.